ours. I'll start with introducing the first speaker, Professor Amitabh Pandey, who's a professor in Environmental Anthropology, Director, National Museums of Mankind. Professor Pandey has been working on intangible and tangible heritage conservation of living culture community. Before joining as the director, Rashtriya Manav Sangrahalaya, Bhopal, he was working as Professor of Environmental Anthropology and Chairperson of the International Center of Community Forestry at Indian Institute of Forest Management, Bhopal Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change, Government of India. He is a member of Madhya Pradesh Wetland Authority of Government of Madhya Pradesh. Dr. Pandey has done his PhD in anthropology from the University of Hyderabad. He is an environmental anthropologist with a focus area of research in cultural conservation, museum science, collective action in resource management, public policy analysis, and biodiversity conservation. He's got an experience of 29 years and has worked in various areas, published extensively, and we are very delighted, I'm personally very delighted to hear more from him. Today's topic that he's going to talk about is crafting a living museum, underlying research and research processes and approaches. So over to you, Professor Pandey, for your presentation.
Thank you, Professor Jixna. Can you hear me? I'm audible? Yeah. I would like to thank Kadeshwari ji for giving this opportunity, because these 2 days being the International Museum Day, it was a hectic for my institution, or we also parallelly having several programs going on, but it's a good opportunity to interface with all the people online. But somehow onlines are now fading out, and we are more into the offline culture. And I could hear concerns of Kadeshwari ji ki people not joining, and that has become very prevalent across the institutions. This is there. So I'll be talking about how living cultures institutions are to created, and Government of India has a regularly being sanctioning budget for number of community museums, eco museums, and so they are being created, and they need to follow certain guidelines and rules if they want to create their institutions. So my focus will be on that. I have been given the access to share my things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
No, it's not available, please.
Can you try again, please?
Yeah, got it now. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So basically, we are talking about crafting a living museum. Our living culture institutions has to be created, presented, and showcased. That's a big challenge. And that the backdrop, you see a Rathwa house of a Bhil community. I'll call you later. A minute. Just give me a minute. I'm just. Yeah, sorry. I forgot to put my phone on the mute. So we were talking about this is a Rathwa house from the Bhil community of bordering Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat. So getting this house and being curated at a museum with the community is what was the aim of it. So how the institutions undergo this whole processes we'll be talking about. A bit of how the living culture concept or the eco museum, community museum concept came into existence. Initially, at the end of the 19th century, development of accepted practice of curatorship, conservation, documentation was carried out in museums. Around 60, 70, there was a big shift happening across the world. There was social unrest, political activism, environmentalism changes were happening. So this led to reevaluation of the purpose of museums, leading to the second museum revolution, that is new museumology, addressing to the needs of the living life cultures, because it was talking about those who are unrepresented, voiceless, they need to be given space. So they were inclusiveness was being debated. Yeah, every element of society, culture is inclusive or not. In 71, huge D. Verine also invented a word to encapsulate the idea of creating museum using local heritage driven by local communities to aid the development. It emerged emergence of museum linked to the social processes, regeneration, development of living holistic culture, urban and rural communities. So they are basically aiming at it. The photograph you could see is talking about a Naga chief house, which is at our Sangrahalaya. It is was co-curated by the community. They came here, they established it, and they followed, practiced all the rituals handed over to us, and they come regularly to take care of it. So it's a co-ownership which is happening, and this is a very important element of living cultures. So they are seen as more democratic visions of museum, with choices being made by the local people. Where this was to be located was identified in ecological landscape of our campus by the Naga communities, and then they went about the carrying out the whole process. So such experimentation started happening India, Mexico, Brazil. Manav Sangrahalaya came in, whole idea came in 1970 when Professor Sachin Roy also attended that conference where this debate of was happening. And then India also started going on that path. And in end of the decade, Manav Sangrahalaya was conceptualized and was established. And within next 2 years, we are going to have our 50 years of the this new museum thing. When you're talking about a living culture, what are the elements which you need to require? Now it's the boundary of territories you talk about. Who are the communities? What is the landscape? Your ecology and environment becomes very important. What are the heritages elements into that? What are the nature elements into it? Sacred sites, sacred places. What are collective memories? Because if you talk to them, there are series of storylines talking about various element of the culture which they consist of it. Who are your visitors? Identity of the community, architecture, cultural properties, elders, traditions. So it's a whole gamut of uh, frameworks which are required, and that has to be showcased in a museum which makes a living culture vibrant. And like architecture, where we are talking about, we have 62 houses from the communities across India, and I can vouch for that. 99% of our houses are using non-industrial materials. So they don't have any industrial materials which are used. It's all human prepared, nature provided, and community knowledge which brings into that. And the houses of Himalaya and Uttarakhand, which are seismic resistance, that houses are also with us. Same way, Toda house, which is cold temperature resistance, those kind of. So there is a which gives us understanding how with limited science also the society could overcome the problems of climate, which becomes very essential element for present learning. What are the main requirements, pillars of your for cultural institution? Sense and spirit of place. So it has to be embedded there. It has to be part and holistic culture, both resource, ecology, and landscape. So when we are preparing a place for a culture, we also bring the ecology into the place. The tree, the some species which is very prominent to them. So those things are also brought into picture. Recently, I had a Uttarakhand Kholi redone by the community because we use the natural material. So decayable also is there, but the material is again available in nature. So replacement is there. They brought two important species to us, the Devdar tree and the rhododendron tree. So if those trees are, we are trying to conserve those trees. If those trees are there, uh, uh, people in ecology can understand the importance of these true trees which plays into the Himalayan landscape. So and seeing those trees, similarly other landscape trees are also with us. Community engagement is a very core principles when these institutions have been created. So community participation is there. And what Armstrong says talks about participation in the decision making, not into just tokenism or something, where but then decides it. And in our case, we can see Kuki Naga, when they brought their house, they brought a cactus tree and they planted the cactus tree. When the tree survived, started uh, giving the leaf, so the house construction started. They say in an environment where this tree can survive, well-being of houses also will be there. So there is a whole nature and culture philosophical engagement that can happen. Living culture museums should be malleable and responsive to the unique context. They should represent their culture and ecological land context. Now I come to talking about my Sangrahalaya, which was done in 1970. As I said it has originated from the living culture and community museum principles. So it was to be co-curated and facilitated by um, the curators as well as the community. So that's a very beautiful example of co-production of any cultural element into a landscape. And those who have visited Manav Sangrahalaya has a by opportunity got a landscape where we have a hilly area, then it slows down, then we have a valley or plain area, then it's a Bhopal has a big lake, and our one end of our museum closes at the back lake, giving us the coastal village look. So that also we have it. So that provided an opportunity to showcase various ecological zones of country and the cultural zones of the country. So there is a coastal village, there is a desert village that could happen. It was conceived in 70 and activated in 78, established in 79 in Bhopal. It's a landscape of 200 acres. Uh, we have a 10 open air exhibitions. So how we are trying to give the cultural exhibition into place. So focusing on architectural diversity, traditional knowledge system of Indian community. So their tribal habitat, there are Himalayan villages. There is a coastal village showcasing the coastal culture, desert village showcasing the desert village. And recently in September or October, we had Rabari women's coming from Kutch for renovating their houses. And one of the young girls said it, my grandmother used to come and renovate it. So the three generational connect with the museum was very beautifully depicted by them. Yeah, I'm the third generation coming and making the house which my grandmother has made it. So that also is where at Sangrahalaya we have a very good experience. River Valley culture we are bringing into it. Narmada River Valley culture is there, and Ganga, and we will be picking up southern rivers too, because Narmada and southern rivers are forest-fed rivers, so they are very unique in ecological, uh, unlike the Himalayan, which are the snow-fed. So those culture also has a very number of mythologies, stories, and all those things. Cosmology and nature trail. So we have having it, and we are working on the tribal cosmology, how space is seen in the tribal culture, or the in our other cultures. Rock art heritage, we have 17 caves, and recently we have found one cave which has been not been excavated. It's a you can say it was a settlement place where family used to rest. A long cave of 50 meters length and 20 meters depth. So working with archaeological survey to study that and see the cultural element to it. Pottery culture is displayed here in our Sangrahalaya. So and the sacred groves of across India. India has around 4% of forest under sacred groves, and there is a diversity of sacred groves from northeast to the Kerala, and from Himalayan and Gujarat side again to the down south Tamil Nadu. So we have sacred groves and their cultural element. These groups are basically whenever we have it, the community priest come. We invite the community priest with the community to carry out all the rituals of that group where the deity is worshipped. Whole cultural performance are there, and after that we conclude it. You can see this is the first photograph where Meitei community from Manipur. This is a Changla Gate of Manipur, which is showcased there. And they, after renovating it, they are performing their traditional rituals. So that also is supported and encouraged by us. Then we have one indoor museum with 12 galleries of 10,000 square meter. Beautiful galleries covering various elements of human culture, starting from biocultural evolution, human odyssey, Lingo Yatra, the belief system, Mandwa Gauri, again a belief system, ethnic art, livelihood belief systems and cosmology, ethno-musical gallery, mask, folk culture, culinary tradition, visual storage, the culture of Northeast, island cultures. So we try to cover whole of India in this space. And it's been regularly reformed and it's changed also. So we are in the second stage. Within coming this year, we'll revamp our galleries again, bring the elements, bring the new things which have more importance to the present one. We have one center in south at Mysore. We have been provided by archaeological department of Karnataka, the Wellington House. It's a heritage building, and we have our small center at there. Yeah, so that center is also very active. We are working to get a center at Majoli, the river island in Assam. We were reviving it. So this is how we are also trying to spread geographically to provide a cultural element to the local communities rather than we being at one place, we need to spread about and showcase it. Now, what are the processes when I'm talking about? The initial research preparation. So whenever some cultural element has to be brought into it, the research, initial research is done. Preparation for curation and exhibition is done. So there is multidisciplinary team consisting of anthropologist, curator with different discipline knowledge. There is exhibition group which joins them. That is a photographic, video artist. What are the elements which can be brought from there to showcase how it can be showcased, all the debates happen. And then collectively with the community, this goes on. There is a plan of field work, there is field visitors happen. When the process of field work is taken care, community is convinced, paid properly, and then brought. Use of participatory research tools to make community engagement in this process. So it's a totally participative. At the local level, we engage the panchayat, we engage the local administration and the community leaders to decide and take permissions to get all the things what comes to the Sangrahalaya. We are working to get Andaman Nicobar some cultural elements, and we are engaging with the Andaman administration for that. Other principles are facilitated and steered by local communities. So basically, core underlying principle is that community has to be steered and encouraged into it, engaged and participation. Joint ownership is and management of double input system. So generally, it is we were recently during COVID because of certain factors. Some decision was taken to get the renovation done from the local workers, and we get a call from the community that no, this is our house and we will only renovate it. So we had to change our decision and get the community at the Sangrahalaya to redo their thing. So this kind of counter claims are also coming from the community who are far away. Himachal community called me. Presently, we wanted to have Ladakh culture exhibition. Ladakh community could not commit. They are again in engagement with us, and they will be coming in the September, October this year because they also own their things and they want to renovate it. Emphasis we are more focusing on the process rather than product. So the processes are very important for us and we follow it. We are innovating some of Northeast houses and we are uh, going to Northeast very regular interval to get the community material as well as the committee. So we are more focused rather than taking the bamboo and grasses are available in Madhya Pradesh also, but then those are not the original ecological species which are used here. They are the species which are used in the Northeast has to be brought up. Encourage collaboration and network with the of partners. So that is very important element when we are designing a living culture. Dependent on substantial active voluntary efforts. So some volunteerism is provided there. Focus on the local cultural aspect, identity, and sense of place. Encompass a geographical territory which can be determined by different shapes and characters. So geographically, we are taking care of it. cover both spatial and temporal aspects, so diachronic rather than simplistic, synchronic. And vanishing culture is cultures are vanishing very rapidly. In the past 2 decades, the transition can be seen. Those of us who are uh, students of anthropology in 90s and now presently going in villages, we are seeing a big changes are happening. A very simple example can be happen. The house type under the government schemes have become very homogeneous in nature compared to the diverse which community were making in their area. So same structural design is under the government programs across India. The knowledge and the art of making house has also been gradually vanishing because we are moving to the industrial areas. Fragmented museums with a network of hubs and antennas of building and sites. So Sangrahalaya is a museum of museums where each exhibition is seen as a museum by the visitors. That sometime when I walk across my campus, I see visitor कितना ही museum में चलते हैं. So then we need to tell him, there further you can walk out. Promote preservation, conservation, safeguarding of heritage resources in situ. We have a good team. We're working on that. Equal attention given to immobile and mobile, tangible and tangible heritage resources. Stimulate sustainable development and responsible climate resilience use of resources. Because these are very two important elements which are happening presently. And climate resilience resources has to be encouraged to showcase that how community have been able to live sustainably in the past and how we are presently stressed and moving away from that culture. Allow for change and development for better future. Encourage ongoing programs and documentation of past and present life. So that is very important. Regular programs which talks about continuity and sustainability has to be brought to it. This is Lehri Bai, the millet queen, and she is trying to show 150 species of millets which she has been working to conserve into the Eastern Madhya Pradesh Mandla division. So a young girl, after being motivated by her parents, is in a mission mode and collecting the millet species which was done by the shifting cultivation Baiga community. So we are into process of bringing them on the platform and engaging them. Promote research with the inputs from local specialists as well as academics. This both integrated form of knowledge creation is happening. Promote multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary approaches to research. Holistic approach is very critical to this whole process of it. Coming to the end, illustrate the interconnected between the nature, culture, past, present, technology, and individual. So this is what a living culture we aim to provide it. So how it's collected, the element and the material, even the ritual elements. So those things are provided. Provide for an intersection between heritage and responsible tourism. So for tourism also, we are working like making campus plastic free and a Potter, we had a do and learn program. A Potter community has come up. I'm working them to get the small Potter's cup in place of the paper cups or the plastic cups which are used into the museum. So totally replace them with a Potter's material. It will be a give this livelihood opportunity because if they are not handhold by us, then that art also will be dying. So that kind of interaction also has to come. Community is also informed how to take care of it, not try to disturb the cultural elements. Bring benefit to local communities, sense of pride, regeneration, economic and social and cultural capital that are also highlighted. When you talk about sustainability, that's a very crucial thing. The social you can replace by culture and that is contrary to the other two elements. Environment works on the efficiency principle, economics works on the effectiveness, where culture works on the equity.
રેકોર્ડિંગ બંધ કરો તો કેવી રીતે કરવાનું? અચ્છા ત્યાંનું છે, ઓકે.
Hello.
Please mute
Yes,
it.
ma'am, I'm muted. Yes.
Yeah. So culture is very crucial because, and that's where the debate can happen. Culture is dynamic and ever changing. Can it be sustainable or static? Where the whole sustainability debate is happening. This is Delhi University students were visiting us, and the landscape you can see the Sangrahalaya provides. It is a rock art area, and where the Delhi students were taken to showcase the ecology and the landscape of museum. So thank you for this opportunity, and it was a. I hope we are taking up a responsible museum creation activities where research becomes the core element of creation and curation. So thank you all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pandey. I think your talk was quite insightful. And when you started with this idea of pillars of living culture and this idea of sense of spirit, community engagement, and responsive discourses, I think the entire narrative really talks about the relationship that, and a slightly tenuous relationship that we also have with this question of continuity and preservation. And I think you've demonstrated, your work has, and your presentation has demonstrated that beautifully. So thank you very much for it. May I invite, if there are any
Thank you.
questions? We may have, I think we have a couple of minutes for questions if there are any. Yes, Dr. Kedareshwari.
I wanted to just ask, I have a small curiosity. Dr. Pandey, when you say that the communities themselves want to come and repair their houses and their, whatever tangible culture they have demonstrated, how does this operate? Like when they come, you have to give them boarding and you have to take care of them. How does this operate? Who gives
We
them
have
their
a,
PA?
yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Who gives them their allowances, and they have to stay? So do they have their own place to live, and their own this thing of food, the system of food? Are we able to provide all this?
Yeah. We have a mechanism where we have already approved rules where we provide third AC travel to every participant, and we provide 1,000 rupees DA, around 1,000 rupees DA to each party, each community person coming. We provide them the accommodation in our campus as well as we provide them the food. So sometimes they stay in their own houses itself. They prefer to stay in the houses. Sometimes they say we'll cook it. We encourage them to cook it and sell it also, where they can sell their cuisine to the Bhopal community visitors who are coming. So that also is encouraged. But then there is a established mechanism where we invite them and we take care of them.
Okay, so that is uh, not a very easy task to do, consistently. Not very easy. So do you have some staff looking after this part of your program?
Yeah. We have each section, each exhibition has a team of people, and they are in connected with them, and they keep talking to, communicating among them. So they make a plan, and then once the plan is ready, it is approved, a budget is approved, and then this whole process is completed. They come for 10 days, 15 days, 20 days.
And this Andaman Nicobar, I heard that you're planning to, you told us you're planning to do something for those islanders also.
Yeah.
Isn't it a good idea to have your branch of IGRMS there itself? Because I'm leaving for Andamans tomorrow. I've got access. So I'm just asking you, because I've been there before, and I have found that you would play a very good role in representing the mainland communities there. They have an idea, uh, though the locals, they are dominated by Kerala people and the population
Tamil
of
Nadu,
Bengal.
Tamil Nadu.
They're dominated by them, and all their pathways, roadways, villages, sub-villages, sub-districts are named after Bengali names.
Acha.
Yeah. So, could this, would you like to ponder on this idea and put forth it? Or, Anthropological Survey of India is already there, with a museum. Now, could they give you one wing like Indian Museum, the location in Kolkata? They have zoological, they have anthropological sections there. It was done by the British though. So similarly, can something be done? Because I have been to your Manav Sangrahalaya and I found it to be so beautiful. One can pass 2-3 days there, of time. It is so beautiful and it is so absorbing, immersive. So could something be done there in animal? Would you like to put forward a proposal to the ministry?
Anthropological survey is already there, and by I think so somehow accident He is also from University of Hyderabad, B.V. Sharma.
Sharma
He
is
is
now
my
in Nagpur, no?
no, B.V. Sharma is in Kolkata.
He's in Kolkata.
He he's director anthropological survey of India.
Yeah. Yesterday they asked for a message. I gave them the message.
So he also my senior and my teacher. So that way there is he was senior to me in the department, and he joined the faculty when I was a student.
Okay.
But I left the department very quickly. I joined my Ministry of Environment and Forest. But we are in constant touch, and through them only we are accessing this Andaman culture. I'll be probing them, and I'll talk to my ministry also. This is a wonderful idea. How to create a it should be participatory museum where we can showcase the other culture there, because we have a good visitors coming up. So that thank you for that idea. I'll work on that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for accepting the idea. And then I have one more question. This you're talking of responsible tourism. The very important thing which we all lose sight of. I will tell you a simple example. As a member of the Hyderabad Heritage Committee, we had proposed to the government that we need 25 crores to do up the Charminar area. So a part of that money went to the illumination of the facade of Salarjung Museum. And the Salarjung Museum facade, it's on a road, on a thoroughfare where there are not many people after 5 o'clock, because it faces the river Musi. There are no other constructions there. So when Salarjung Museum began in this particular building now, in 1951, the museum was opened. Later, it was shifted here by the foundation stone was laid by Dr. Rajendra Prasad. And in 1975 or something, shifted here, they planted 5 Ashoka trees. And the girth of each Ashoka tree is almost 4 feet. The bark, the trunk. And the person who was the head of the museum, it was my bad luck that I said illumination. I didn't say illumination. I said we could do something for Salarjung Museum, directional signage and all. And I, being in that committee, I playing a major role. One Friday evening, as I came down from my office, 4 of those trees were chopped out. The people who were axing those trees, they were there. So I saved the 5th tree. Then I gave a call to the head and I said, who asked them to chop this? So he said, no, ma'am, the Hyderabad Heritage Committee said. I said, I'm a member of that, but we didn't ask for chopping of the trees. Then he says, we have to put up poles to illuminate the building. Single pole.
That's where the problem is, that, madam. Why not use the natural lights to illuminate the building? There are natural ways to do it.
We could have used solar energy. Now, of course, we do have solar energy in Salarjung, and we don't need illumination. We have good illumination. We don't need to decorate it further because there is no passerby also. There are no pedestrians, and it is under CISF. They don't allow anybody to enter after 5 o'clock. Naturally, for security reasons. Yeah. So this is one thing. Second, when we talk of balance, many of our sites are visited by people who do not know how to respect the monument. So the tourism, when you go abroad, you must have noticed that what kind of care they take care of their monuments, what kind of signage they have. It makes you so conscious of not even putting a chocolate ka wrapper on the pathway. Why is it that our own people abroad they behave and in India they don't behave? Is it because there it is danda and here it is janda?
It's both is required. Both is required. Basically, I'm also very keen. I say, if you find anybody, please note his details and not allow him inside the campus, because purpose is where you come and learn and entertain. But you cannot. There is a public space. Public decorum is very important. So secondly, I am making my campus plastic free, 100% plastic. So once I'm 200 acres, every inch I am in just getting it clean. Once that happens, at the gate, I'll stop getting plastic inside the campus.
Plastic inside, yeah.
So secondly, yesterday night, I closed all the lights to people experience what is a moonlight. Yes. Because nowadays we don't have an experience of moonlight, because in our this high-rise buildings, those elements of sky and is missing. So our we have a very beautiful sky. So all the lights were put off. And the visitors were saying, you just feel how moonlight and how people lived in moonlight in the past.
Yes.
So those experiences we are giving, and for the responsible tourism, we have started bringing e-cycle. We have started bringing go-karts, so people start using them rather than using their vehicle. Gradually, I might stop the diesel vehicles to encourage only petrol, so that
That would be
this
wonderful.
climate positiveness of our area is maintained. Solar lights gradually we are going to come up with it. So, and before tourist enters a place, we are having our welcome gallery where they will be sensitized and then moved inside. So that
Fantastic.
I'm starting. That I'm doing.
Pre-visit presentation. Yes.
Yeah,
That's
that's
very
important. Even do and don'ts.
Yeah, wonderful,
With-
wonderful. I would like to share with you one more thing that, you must have heard about the Golconda Fort in Hyderabad.
I
And this
visited that.
Golconda Fort, it has its, funerary tombs around.
Hmm.
There is no orchestrated effort between the urban development and their archaeology sections. So these fellows laid a road cutting both, into two parts. So divided now. The Golconda separate and this metropolis of the funerary of the Qutub Shahis is separate.
I've seen it. I've seen
Yeah,
it.
the Qutub Shahi tombs are spread over 100 acres of land.
Yeah, yeah.
And Kuli Qutub Shah is separate from the municipality, from the Hyderabad municipality. So the chairman decided that he will occupy 30 acres. And he has occupied it, and he has put all artificial fiberglass, jhula, voola, slides, water fountain, all artificial. And during my time, I fought and I brought the attention of the chief secretary to that area, and with somehow or something, little I could do, not much. That area in the night, I made it a rule that no light is to be switched on except the pathways, because that was solar lights. Very soft they were. I'm telling you, sir, the night sky was visible from that 100 acres.
That's important.
Beautiful night sky. And I would like to share something so nice about these Kutub rulers. They had their tombs in gardens. It was called a paradise. And they planted fruit trees so that birds come.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And they have their, prayer hall next to the tomb. Why?
Yes.
It seems so that the prayer of the living could reach the ears of the dead, so that they could hear the chirping of the birds. So this was the concept in those days. If the Qutub Shahs had ruled for longer, this city would have been far more well planned and developed.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to share this with you because
Thank
you were
you.
talking of the
Thank you.
night sky.
No, because they are the losing experience of people now.
Yes. And if I may suggest, I don't know, I'm a little overambitious also. During Paurnami, I think like they open Taj Mahal for special visits. Paurnami, you should open up the 200 acres, allow people to come and have dinners, open air dinners, picnics on the Paurnami night. Charge them for that.
We do one thing we call it Poonam program. We got invite the nationally reputed classical singers to perform in our campus.
Fantastic, yeah.
So that at the lake, the moon rises it, and then we have a very good open auditorium where the international artists and national artists perform on the classical music.
Wow.
And
Great.
then food and everything is available, and the lights are dimmed out, so they enjoy it.
They enjoy it. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam.
I mean, it was great pleasure to hear you. IGRMS has always been a popular destination for all. May it continue to be so under your leadership. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
I seek your permission, madam, because I have to go to the museum for other
Yes,
activities.
I do know that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. I'm leaving.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Jixna. I'll take your permission.
Thank you.